Hello and welcome to Savva Talk Spurs. Hopefully you like the new intro. Just thought I would do a quick half an hour to an hour before the England game starts and just see who's knocking about on a Saturday afternoon. I'm on a bit of a health kick myself, so not out drinking and boozing, and hopefully we can have some Saturday afternoon Spurs chat if the dogs don't ruin it for me. So first and foremost, what I wanted to talk about was Harry Kane. Now, Harry Kane has, suddenly it feels like he's kind of drifted into the background. It feels like all of a sudden, Son's had this great season and everyone seems to have forgotten about Harry Kane. And I feel like he's been belittled a little bit, if I'm honest. And Harry Kane, for me, is a wonderful, wonderful footballer, not just a great goal scorer, but I think what he brings to us as an all-round footballer can't be dismissed. Now, Harry Kane, for me, is the only one that can drop deep, get on the ball, start moves, spray the ball left, spray the ball right. And for me, I think that's really underestimated in his game. So I often get asked the question as, who would you rather, Kane or Son? And when I say Kane, I always get lambasted for it because I'm not saying Son, because of the season Son's just had. But for me, Kane is the more important player purely because he doesn't just bring you goals. He brings you lots of assists, but also he's our playmaker. Now, I'd welcome any questions into the comments. I know I'm not expecting lots of people this afternoon, but we'll see if we can get a few. And good afternoon to you all as well, and hope you're enjoying your bank holiday. I was just looking at some of Harry Kane's numbers for Tottenham, and in his last 8 seasons for Spurs, and this is going back from the early days, he got 21 league goals, 25 league goals, 29 league goals, 30 league goals, 17 league goals, 18 league goals, 23 league goals, and then last year, 17 league goals. Now, some might look and go, well, hang on, it looks like it's kind of dropped off the last 2 or 3 years in terms of the numbers that he was hitting. But my theory on that is, have you noticed that those goals coincide with us losing our playmaker in Christian Eriksen? Has anyone noticed that? So whilst everyone loves the Kane and Son combination, which in no way, shape or form am I belittling, it's brilliant, but it's always just been those two to each other. When we had a fit and fire in Eriksen, Kane was hitting 20, 25, 29 and 30 goals a season. So one of the things I wanted to speak to you lot about today was, and please get your messages in, I'll read them all out, I will. One of the things I was wondering was, if we get an Eriksen back, if we get another creative player, a James Maddison, an Isco, I don't know, you can fill in the blanks with the names that you want. Does that change Harry Kane's game back to being a goal scorer? Is he instructed to drop deep, to come and make things happen? Has he naturally gravitated towards that as he's got a bit older? Because he doesn't tend to do that as much for England. So let me know, what do you think? Do you think that Harry Kane can have a season next year? And that's what I wanted to talk about, the main point. Next year, can Harry Kane go back to a season where we don't worry so much about him dropping deep into the midfield and he gets 25 league goals and he revisits those glory years? Now, I'm going to read out some comments, but before I do that, I just want to point out where you can see that this is a drop-off from when Eriksen left, being our chief creator for about 5-6 years. In those years when Kane started scoring less, he wasn't hitting the 25s, the 29s and the 30s. If you actually look, what has increased over that period of time has been his assists. So if you have a look, in his last 2 seasons, he's got 23 assists. Yeah. Now, I don't think, I'm just quickly adding up in my head, he got 2, 6, 8, 15, 16, 17. He didn't get, for his previous 6 years, he didn't even hit that target. So in 2 years, he's done what he hadn't done for 6 years. So for me, I think it's fundamental that we bring in someone creative. It doesn't have to be an out-and-out playmaker, but somebody that can get on the ball in the midfield, and make things happen. Let me know what you think. Let's just quickly go to some of your comments, and hello to everyone who is involved. And if somebody can let me know the England team, I have not seen it as of yet. Not the biggest fan of international football, but be interesting to know if any of the Spurs lads are playing. Captain Gockrell, sorry, mate, I'll be half and half in comments as I'm watching the England game, but I'll have it on mute. Listen, mate, absolutely. I'm not expecting a big turnout. Wasn't planning to go for a very long time. But listen, wonderful, wonderful picture you've got there as your header. So well done to you. Paul, yes to the intro. Paul, you created this intro, so big up. If anyone doesn't follow Paul, please do connect with him. A very talented guy with videos, with montages, with thumbnails. So big up to you. Tempus Fugit, tell me if I'm saying that wrong. He said, I think Kane will have a great season with Perisic and a couple of good midfield options. That is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the more quality we bring into this squad. We had Son. Then we added Kulusevski. Now we've added Perisic. What happens if we add a creative central midfield player? Because at the moment, all of those players I've mentioned are wide players. So what happens when we get someone in this in this hole rather than there or there? Tottenham away, big up yourself. Savva Iggy, big up to you as well, my friend. How are you? We need to get on a stream together at some point, my friend. Always respect your views, even though you're wrong a lot of the time, but I do respect them. Just kidding. Love you, Iggy. Stephen Cartwright said, I think Kane has become more of a team player recently, which I think is a good thing. Absolutely, Stephen. He has. Whether that was by choice, whether that was by design or by necessity, we don't know. But it's absolutely a great thing. I'm just wondering what's the, what are the positives to getting back England's best striker in a striker position rather than him constantly coming deep to set up moves for other people. Just a thought. Kane Leg has said, if Eriksen goes to Spurs, Kane will definitely get more goals again. I completely agree with you. I think Eriksen is a wonderful footballer who our fans, for some reason, so many of them wouldn't want him. And I just don't get it. He's at a great age. He looks like he's really enjoying his football again. He pulls the strings, both-footed. He can play those intricate passes, those cute passes. We haven't got a player that can do that at the moment other than Kane. So wouldn't it be nice for Kane to be on the end of them? Yeah, absolutely. You just need someone to be to be behind him in midfield. Ilias has said, hello, Savva. I was wondering if you want Eriksen back. Yeah, I think I've just said it. Absolutely, my friend. I don't see any downside. Apologies, I do not know what happened there. Yeah, I don't see any downside to Christian Eriksen joining Tottenham. He would be a lot of money in this market, and we could potentially get him on a free, and he knows the club. Let's see, what did Paul has come in and said. Conte said it the moment he came in. He wants Kane to be a true number 9 again. With more creativity around him next season, his goal numbers could be insane. This is my point, Paul. I want to see that. I've got nothing against Harry Kane coming deep, creating. He's added so many strings to his bow. But wouldn't it be amazing to just see him banging in goals for fun again? I think, considering that he literally had half the season off, really, in terms of from when he started scoring goals, I think he ended up having a very good season. Captain Gockrell talking to Iggy. Cosmos said, if we get a playmaker, I think Kane will still do his part of the playmaking, but not as much as he does now, and can focus more on getting goals like he used to. Cosmos, yeah, absolutely. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute that Kane's never going to drop deep, but it would just be lovely to see him dropping into those. Sorry, not dropping deep. That's the wrong word. Getting himself into those areas, in behind the last man, playing off the shoulder, getting in the box for chances that he would at the moment be creating. Kane is starting for England. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. Nitin has said, any news on Lukaku coming to Spurs? Lukaku and Kane will be deadly strike if we play 2 forwards. Yes. I can't see it happening. I can't see it at all. First and foremost, let's look at the elephant in the room. Chelsea. Can you see Spurs and Chelsea doing business together? Second of all, could you see them loaning us someone when we're their biggest rivals for next season? Listen, I think the two of them would work perfectly together, but I can't see it in any way. And it looks like he's going back to Inter. Aaron, hello, mate. How are you? I hope England do better than us. Mix versus Armenia. I haven't seen any scores today, actually, so apologies. Mike Kohler. Okay, let me just put this out there to you now. You were in the comments yesterday, all show with Henry. Listen, I'll give you that one free. If you keep doing that, I will just block you because you're just being a troll at this point. Nothing negative has been said. We're having a discussion about Harry Kane. So I think, look, either join in or don't. It's cool. I don't mind. I don't need you to come and view my show. So look, it's up to you. If you want to play fair, play fair. If you don't, then, listen, I'll see you later. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. I'm doing really well. Just chilling. I'm having a nice, relaxed weekend. Just doing a lot of streaming this weekend. I'm ready for work again on Monday. FM22 fanboy said, saying this, Savva, Kane still bagged 17 goals, even with his shocking start. I think him dropping deep is so important for us as we may well use his attributes. Absolutely. I think, look, hats off to him. I think, if I'm not wrong, didn't he score something like just 2 goals up until December? And then, he bagged 15 between January and May. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not suggesting he never drops deep. I'm just suggesting that I think we'd get way more goals out of him if he was to be a centre forward and not have to drop to the halfway line because we've got no one else in our team that's got an ounce of creativity. So I'm just looking forward to getting back to seeing Harry Kane, the goal machine, rather than Harry Kane, the creativity machine. But look, he's 2 players wrapped into one. I think he's priceless. Paul, the whole England team: Pickford, Walker, Cody, Maguire, Alexander-Arnold, Bellingham, Rice, Justin, Mount, Bowen, Kane. So is that wing backs with Justin and Alexander-Arnold? Maguire in there. Shock. Okay, interesting. Good to see Bowen getting a game. And Bellingham, really big fan of both of those two. Okay, Kane Legger said, only way Lukaku will go Spurs if Kane goes the other way. Yeah, look, it's got no legs in it, this one, has it? It's got no legs. First and foremost, what would Chelsea charge Spurs for Lukaku? Second of all, would they even do business with us? I don't think so on both accounts. But look, at the end of the day, it will be what it will be. We'll see what happens. But I think he's got Inter Milan written all over it. Hello, mate. How are you? He's put, Kane is not the forgotten man. He made the PFA shortlist. Some did not. Yeah, I mean, more about within the Spurs fan base. I feel like a lot of people are. If you actually look at the goals and assists contributions for both Kane and Son this season, I think Kane only finished 4 behind Son and had about half a season off. So for me, Kane's still the main man. And I'm hoping that we get a great pre-season under his belt and that he fires in goals for fun. Obviously, you've got the World Cup in the middle of that, which he'll be riled up for. He'll be looking for the golden boot there. So, yeah, that's just my 2 pence on that. With regards to the PFA shortlist, I'm not a big one for worrying about things like that. I think the key thing is that these guys are doing it for us, not so worried about those kind of individual accolades. But for them, I don't know. It could be really, really important. Hi, Savva. If we can't get Bastoni, then I'm going all in for someone like Longley and Dicker. Look, I think I've said this for weeks. I think people got well too hyped about Bastoni and people like that. Not that they're not good players, but from the reports that we're hearing that they're joining the club. Lots of these ITK people, they don't know anything. They've been feeding different stories every day. So I just wait and see what happens. But to your point, yeah, if we can't get Bastoni, you've got players like Ndicka, you've got Longley, you've got Bramer, you've got, I wrote a whole list down yesterday of centre-backs like Gavadal, Guehi, Pau Torres. So there's options, and I'm sure that Conte will come to the right conclusion. 20Z, Kulu can really buy a cross if so, in additions to that, otherwise it becomes predictable. Yeah, look, for me, I'm an advocate of you can't have enough good players. Yeah, and all of these players have a different skill set. You've got Son with his pace. You've got Kulusevski with his clever trickery. He's got a lovely delivery. You've got Kane with his goal scoring and dropping deep. I just think you need to add to those 3. Because outside of that, I don't see any goal threat anywhere in this Tottenham Hotspur squad. So if we want to go deep, if we want to challenge for things in the coming years, we've got to add more goals, more creativity. JJR Maker said, I'd like to see Kane playing as a 10 for us after next season so he can get his replacement in. Look, that's an interesting one, isn't it, about replacements? I've got a feeling he'll sign a new contract in the coming months. I think the ship has sailed. So somewhat for him to leave. Who knows, though? Who knows what's going to happen? He could go on for another 5 years. He could go on for another 2 years. But what we've got to start doing is, I was just talking about this with Henry, is succession planning. We've got to succession plan. We can't just think that we're only going to have these two players and nobody else. And I think that's the really, really key thing. Back 5 for England. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, I knew what you meant. 24Z, I knew what you meant. Don't worry. Nitina said Kane will be aiming for that golden boot next season. Absolutely. Of course he will. He's a finisher. He's a predator. Look, of course he'll be happy for his mate's son that he's got it. But individually, he'll want that back, right? He'll want that golden boot. And what does he want it? 3 times now? So he'll be gunning for a 4th. Could someone Google for me? Just let me know who's won the golden boot the most times and how many times was that? Because Kane's on 3. So how many are above Kane? Hello, Gogamo. Sorry, Gugama, however I say your name. Big up to you. I see you a lot on Henry's streams and on Will's. So thank you for making a trip over to mine. Really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Lukaku doing well at Spurs would expose Tuchel, so he wouldn't allow it. However, I do wonder if now that Roman has left Chelsea, if we do see deals since there was a fallout because of Modric. I think that for me, I think a lot is said of Lukaku, but for me, I think Tuchel's got to take the blame on this one. When you've got a squad as wonderful as his, to finish that many points off the top 2, to not get a £100 million striker who's scored goals wherever he's gone, to not get him scoring, that falls on him because he scored a bundle at Everton, a bundle at West Brom, a bundle at Man United, a bundle at Inter. He scores for Belgium for fun. So for me, that's on Tuchel. Will the kind of ban between Chelsea and Spurs? I don't know. Let's see. I just can't see that many fans will be happy with cross-border sales, but stranger things have happened. Look at Sol Campbell. Yes. Let's have a look. Fanboy says, but he's such an elite footballer. If we stick him up front against a low block and don't see him, it could cost us points. Not disagreeing with you. I'm just looking at different. Yes, absolutely. Look, I think more than anything, it's options, right? I think there'll be games where Kane drops deep. There'll be games where we don't need him to. But there are games at the moment where we haven't got anyone that sits in behind Kane that can create for him. Sonny will get assists from the byline and from crossing in and running up defenders. But I'm talking about that, what Eriksen did, the passing behind, finding the lines in between the channels. That's the key thing for me. SOF says, Kane plays false 9 like Firmino. His assist numbers will be higher next season. Son 20 goals, Kulu 10 to 15. Look, absolutely. I'm expecting a good season from Kulusevski. I think he's come in. He's settled really well. He's debunked that myth that it's tough to settle into the Premier League. I don't buy that at all. I don't see this league as quicker or better than any other league, hence why none of our teams managed to win a European competition. But yes, if we can get Son on 20 goals, Kane on 20 goals, Kulu 10 to 15, then you can just start chipping in from other areas. Perisic with 7 or 8, whatever it may be. 24/7 said, as if Kulu can be creative, but we need constant additions to supply it from free. I can't agree with you more. It's got to be, we've got to get more players in the squad that offer that offer difference. At the moment it's the same. So, and that's not Conte's fault. That's what he's got. At the moment, teams will know what Kane, Son, and Kulusevski do. Now, the good teams will be able to stop it. Poor teams won't. But what you've got to have is, for different teams in Europe, etc., different ways of playing. Are there games where you need a deep line playmaker, something that an Eriksen could do? Do you need an out-and-out playmaker, something that a Maddison could do? Just throwing out their options. Tell you another left centre back that would be a great option. Salisu from Southampton, great footballer. Yeah, he looks decent. I can't can't sit here and lie and say I've watched him in detail, but next season I'll keep a close eye on him. But a lot of people have been saying that. Let me chuck this to you, Bump of K. What about Ake? Ake's a solid centre-back, left-sided, plays for the Netherlands, plays for Man City. What do you think? Just throwing it out there. I hope that wasn't something I said. Noah said, "Pick up Savva, bro. Kane is your man. He's probably Spurs' best academy product, in my opinion." Do you agree? He's our best academy product for 20 odd years. Before that was Ledley King. I won't talk about Sol Campbell. I've said his name twice now on this show. I do apologise. And then before that, it would have definitely been someone like Glenn Hoddle. Just immense. Just immense. Cosmos has come into the chat and said, "I don't understand why we're still going for Bastoni if he clearly prefers to stay at Inter. I think it's time we move on and try and get another centre back." Cosmos, I think this is the problem. This is what listening to all the reports does. For all we know, Bastoni may have always wanted to stay at Inter. But all of these reports saying he's coming to Spurs, he wants to work for Antonio Conte, have kind of perpetuated the situation. What we need is some patience. Deals like Bastoni for 60 odd million, they're not going to get done in the first week of a window. You know, Perisic is different. He's on a freebie. Yeah, Bastoni, we need some time and patience. And I'm sure that that's not the only centre-back we're going after. If we believe what we read, then Paratici has got kind of a scattergun style where he'll go and get 3, 4, 5 players, 6 players in the same position and then pull the trigger. Excuse me. So we just talked about the Alan St-Maximin with Henry. I think a lot of our fans are really, really harsh on players like St-Maximin. And they're saying, what about his output, etc., etc., etc. But what output would we expect from a player at Newcastle that's been in a relegation-threatened team for 2 years? Excuse me, sorry, I got something in my throat. What output would we expect? Yeah, are we expecting 20 goals, 20 assists in a team that fight relegation? I think, again, I'm going to repeat myself. He adds another string to our bow. He gives you a different option, running at players. I mean, I just think you can't have too many good players. Would Newcastle sell him? So many different permutations here. Phil Preston, he's put Nikola Milenkovic for defence perhaps, but Spurs need to move quickly. Now, if I'm not wrong, didn't Milenkovic sign a new contract in January? Or was it last summer? But I like him from what I've seen from Fiorentina. I like him. I'd definitely take him. Peter Simons has said, would you take James Ward-Prowse if the price was right? Again, I would add him to the squad. It's another one where I feel like whenever somebody asks you a question about would you take this player, if you say yes, then people automatically assume you think that this player is the best player that's ever played football. Would I add him to the squad? Absolutely. I don't think we've got great options in central midfield. For what he would bring with set pieces alone, free kicks, corners, absolutely. I think he's a decent footballer. I think he would add another dimension. So why not? We've got a lot of games. I think it's Thierry Henry. I don't know what that's in response to. Sorry, Ilias. Kane Leg, are you confident Spurs owners will back Conte? And you think Conte will ever win a trophy at Tottenham? First of all, the word back, is subjective in these scenarios. What does that mean? Does that mean 200 million? Does that mean 10 players? Does that mean 4 world class? I don't know what that means. But I was having a chat with a friend of mine earlier today, and what I said was, I actually don't think this whole we're going to spend loads of money thing is going to be true. I think what will happen is I think we'll bring about 6 players in. I think we'll spend 120 to 130 million, and I think we'll recoup 100 to 110. Therefore, having only spent 20 million. But what I do think ENIC did, I think they were very clever. I think bringing that statement out allowed fans to read into it what they wanted. So you had the fans immediately that didn't really read the article that went, oh my God, we're pumping 150 million pounds into new players. Then you have the people that read it properly when it said, right, this money is going to be used for on-field and off-field, right? So I didn't really buy into it. I thought they were going to have to spend 100, 150 million anyway, but with player sales, who knows? Having said that, I'm not an advocate that you have to spend 150, 200 million. It just has to be the right, smart signing. So, for example, Perisic on a free, great signing. Eriksen on a free would be a great signing. Forster on a free, great signing. And then supplement 3 or 4 of those with 2 or 3 very good players that might cost 50 million each. That, for me, makes sense. Right, okay, so, Henry, sorry, I've got you. Sorry, I've just realised I asked that question. Yeah, so Henry's won the Golden Boot 4 times. Right, so Kane's one away from that, so that could be his driver. Listen, we'll talk about Kane a bit more in a minute, but I like to get to the questions. You know, I like to involve people. If people don't want that, then feel free to just tell me. Yeah, okay, it's Thierry Henry. Longley would be a good squad centre-back, better than Tanganga or Rodon. I think he's better than Davis, and I think he's better than Dyer. I think the only centre-back we've got better than him is Romero. And I feel that, yeah, absolutely. I don't understand how Spurs ever allowed ourselves to get to a squad where we had Tanganga, Sanchez, Rodon, Davis, and Dyer as 5 of our 6 centre-backs. It's criminal in my eyes. It's criminal. Yes, thank you for subscribing. That really does mean a lot to me. And I'll tell you why. So on the Spurs Corner, for anyone that's listening, for anyone that cares, on the Spurs Corner on Sunday night, which I do with Henry Wright, with Stell, with Will, THFC Rants, I am giving away a Tottenham shirt with a player of your choice on the back. Tune in to find out how you win it. And then once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away 2 tickets for Tottenham's first home game of the season. Don't say I'm not generous. I am. So let me know if that interests you. We can do those throughout the season. Once a month, I'll give away a couple of pairs of tickets. And they will be either corporate or hospitality as well. So let me know if those sort of things are of interest. But I need to get to 1,000 subscribers first. Currently on 623. So I've added 150 in the last 2 days. But if anyone hasn't subscribed, please do. Let's have a look. Agreed to have. He needs to get the best out of him like Conte other managers. Look, absolutely. I think all the pressure's gone on to Lukaku because of the 100 million price tag. However, if a manager gets his striker that he's wanted for 100 million, then surely he's got to get the best out of him. Play a formation that gets the best out of your 100 million pound striker. But he didn't. 4 golden boots for Thierry Henry, 3 for Kane, Mohamed, Salah, and Shearer. Okay, interesting. So Kane is 1 away from beating Salah and Shearer. Who knows where Salah will be next year? So it's on. Henry, I believe, is golden boot. Yeah, are you talking about Milinkovic-Savic? I'd love that guy. That is a statement signing. He is a quality central midfielder. Scores goals, assists, strong, good engine, all over that. Yeah, great shout, Phil. Great shout. Hello, Shiraz. Hello, Salvador. I've been called worse. Should we offer Bastoni like 200k to turn his head? Look, I just said it on Henry's show a while back. I don't care what players are paid. Pay what you've got to do to get them in the door. If we believe they're that valuable, pay them what they need. That's the market we're in. It's not my money. That sounds awful, but it's not. It's not my money. It's not your money. It's not any of the fans' money. They need to do what they need to do to compete. And unfortunately, top players want top money. That's the market we're in. Thank you for all your questions so far. Brilliant. Half an hour into the show. It's been a real pleasure. After next season, we need to stop this narrative that Kane and Son are irreplaceable. They're not getting any younger, and we might only get 2 to 3 more consistent elite level performances. This is the thing. For me, it's about succession. It's about succession, right? I think this summer Kane's going to be 29 and Son 30. Someone will tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, at some point, you've got to start getting fresh blood in behind them. As I said earlier, Liverpool, Salah, Firmino, Mane. Look what they've done in the background. Diaz, Jota, Fabio Carvalho. They'll go and get another one this summer. It's what you got to do. You can't just keep having 2 and thinking that that's going to be fine every season, because burnout will happen, especially with Champions League football. Yeah, absolutely. It's all about variation. That's what it's about. And that's what the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, that's what they've done so well over the years. United before their collapse years and years ago, variation. Take off a Beckham. Yeah. Bring on a Blomqvist. Take off a Van Nistelrooy. Bring on a Solskjaer. You've got to have variation, different players. Paul Pogba could do well as Conte's playmaker, but he's going to Juve. Yeah, I don't think for me, again, just for me, I don't think that's the sort of character you want at the club. I think Paul Pogba's a wonderful footballer, but I'm going to use those words on his day, right? On his day, he's a wonderful footballer, but top players don't have it on their day. They have it every game, most games. So Pogba for me, not the right player, not the right. No, I don't think it fits. I just don't think the whole thing fits. Yeah, I know what you meant, mate. I know what you meant. Alejandro, hello there. Big up, Savva. What do you think about these recent St. Maximin links? Yeah, I just said it earlier if you've just joined. Look, for me, he offers something different. He's much better than Bergwijn and Lucas. He offers pace, trickery. I think he'd also score more goals in a better team. I don't see any downside to adding him to the squad. I don't. Depends what they want for him. Depends if they'd sell him. If Conte wants him and we bring him in, I've got no problem. Martin Wilde has said, all the media around Bastoni is just different parties trying to strong arm themselves into positions to get more money. Look, it's the same every window, right? With every big signing. Fans want to see it happen over a day, but it just doesn't happen, does it? There's a lot more to it. We don't even know if he's happy at Milan, he's happy at Milan. It's that simple. They challenge for titles. He wins things. He's only 23. He's not been there forever. There's no rush for him, I suppose. So we have to not just think about it from a Spurs fan point of view. Terry Wright said, big up Savva. Who would be your first choice for creative midfielder? For me, I'd love a James Maddison. I'm not going to lie. I'd love James Maddison. If not, I think Eriksen on a free. I just think they're no-brainers of signings for me. Would Leicester let Maddison go? How long has he got on his contract? I don't know. All these different things that we've got to think about. And most football fans, have you noticed, don't think about these things. They just go, oh, we want so-and-so, go and get him. But if a player's got 5 years left on his contract, it makes these things tricky. Savva, are you going to watch Germany versus Italy tonight? Honestly, I think Italy could get absolutely demolished. I hadn't planned on watching it. I'll keep an eye on some scores. I just don't know. Are Germany what they were? Italy seem to have dropped off since the Euros win. I think they went like 35 games unbeaten. Looks like that's kind of taken it out of them. Do they need some fresh ideas? Germany aren't what they were, but again, they're another club building. They won the European World Cup, the Under-21s World Cup a few years back, I believe, or was it the Under-21s Euros? And a lot of those young players looked very good, ready to step up. Savva, why in some games this season, Kane wasn't occupying centre-backs and gets roughed by defenders? I think that's a bit harsh. I think he drops so deep that comes away from being his job a lot of the time. So he's not always up with the centre-backs. But I think that's a bit harsh. Bump of K, ASM completed around 150 take-ons last season, would be lethal on the counter, and to bring off the bench in other games, bring him in. Absolutely. It's about having a squad. I can't say it enough. And for years, many fans of many clubs just can't get the idea of a squad in their head. Chelsea, City, Liverpool, these fans get it. These fans, when Man City were linked with Haaland, when Man City are linked with Grealish, they don't turn around and go, oh, but we've already got loads of players. They go, yeah, get them in, rotate them, get them in. Spurs fans are very precious. We can't bring in anyone because that means Son or Kane might have to sit on the bench for a game. Cool, do it. Dennis got 10 goals and 6 assists with Watford. That's a player I would take from a relegation side. Yeah, but also Dennis plays up front, doesn't he? St. Maximin plays wide. So I do feel it's slightly different. Dennis, for me, I think that should be the sort of player that some of the promoted teams are looking at. I wouldn't want him at Spurs, but I think that should be a Fulham, a Bournemouth, a Forest. For me, that would make sense for them. Rumours that ASM with 35 million release clause. Well, if it is 35 million, I think it's a good signing at 35 million, especially what prices are now. Simon Waters, we need a player to take corners. The Sun can attack the penalty area. I think for years we've needed players that can take a set piece. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't know about you lot in the chat. I don't know how many more free kicks I can watch where Kane or Dyer just run up and whack the ball and it just hits the wall and no thought really goes into it. 6 players, Savva. All smart signings. Yeah, it's got to be 6 players, right? We've got to start building. We've got to build. Not a rebuild, a build. I just saw a comment. Sorry, my screen sharing went all funny then. Apologies. P. Doobs has said Basuma and Bastoni for 95 million. It's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. Those two, think what they do to the spine of our team. Absolutely. They're the sort of signings we should be looking. Hello to yourself, Louis. Louis, can you let me know? Is it Louis or Lewis? I think we keep talking. I don't know which one it is, and I want to get it right, just out of politeness. So who would you take at right wing back? I'd like Male of Atalanta. For me, that's a good player. If not, I think looking at someone like Mukiel, but definitely need better than what we've got now. Tottenham shirt, cool, Sarah. Too bad I'm not in London to have a chance for the tickets, but that's awesome. Listen, it's what I do. Free tickets, free shirts. Let's get it going. Let's do it, eh? Offer Bastoni whatever he needs. Yeah, look, I, at the moment, from what I'm seeing, and again, I don't know what to believe because there's so many reports. It doesn't look like it's about the money. It actually looks about he's happy at Milan, and if he is, what do? You can't take someone that's happy. Savva talks, Spurs fix the draw, mate. Kagoma deserves it. Sorry, Salvador was autocorrect. That's all, Matt. As I said, I've been called a lot worse than Salvador. I'm sure one of my trolls will be in here in a minute calling me worse than that. I've got thick skin, mate. You're all good. Crocodile said, hey, Savva, looking forward to Southgate ruining another tournament with the best crop of talent we've had in years. You know what? I agree with you. I genuinely believe with this group of players we've got that, I don't know, I just feel that this man sets up terribly against good teams. When Croatia were at their pomp in the World Cup semis, he set up against them dreadfully. He set up dreadfully in the final against Italy. That's my worry, is whenever we come up against a good team, he can't do anything. I think as well, lots of people say that's harsh. He got to a final and a semi, but I break it down rationally. When I look at the World Cup, England played Panama, Sweden, was it Slovenia, someone like that, Colombia, Belgium twice, and Croatia. We lost 3 of those 7 games. Funnily enough, we lost the 3 to Belgium and Croatia. So we're good at beating the little teams, but we don't beat good teams. Reckon Spurs can win the Champions League? Not a chance. Don't be silly. I think Gill could be Son's heir apparent. The kid is a special player. I've not seen what would make you say that. If he is, great. But whenever I've seen him play, he looks neat and tidy, but lightweight, doesn't assist, doesn't score. He's all right. Alf Martin, how are you, sir? Welcome back. You're a Man United fan, right? If you apologies if you're not. If you are happy with Ten Hag, good rebuild. Is it starting? De Jong, you happy? Get your thoughts in. Alf Martin again. Would you rather have Tielemans or Neves? I'd rather Neves, but I wouldn't say no to either. But I'd rather Neves. I think Neves is a wonderful footballer, and he's got lovely hair as well. Lovely footballer. Why do people want to stay away from Bazuma? I understand his case is if found guilty is horrid, but if we don't sign him, someone else will. Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I don't really want to get into the politics of his court case. But look, for me, if we're talking football ability, absolutely get this guy in, a no-brainer. Quality footballer. And in the games we played Brighton this year, I thought he stood out in both games. I thought he was really, really good in the midfield. Is there one main target player you want Spurs to buy? No, not one main. I just want to see a quality centre-back, and some quality wing backs and a playmaker. It doesn't have to be an out-and-out playmaker, but a midfielder that can control a game, get his foot on the ball, look up. What on earth is that green drink you're drinking? So this is one of those innocent drinks. I think it's guava, apple, and pineapple. Sorry, yeah, I forgot about that. Let's have a look. But Dave Clark has said, Bumper K from a Geordie, I think ASM will be a huge disappointment for you guys. Okay. It's all opinions, isn't it, guys? It's all opinions. Terry Wright, he's having a private chat there. Knitting, don't think Liverpool were brave enough to try and buy Son due to the prospect of facing Daniel Levy. Look, I was just talking with Henry Wright about this. I think it's a non-starter. I don't think it's got any legs. Look, what it is, it's lazy journalism, but it's obvious journalism, if I can say that, which I struggle to. Obvious journalism. You're talking about one of the best left-sided forwards in Europe leaving in Mane. What is the obvious leap? The obvious leap is, okay, Son, another one of the best left-sided forwards in the Premier League. Let's put the link. I think it would take an extortionate amount of money to get him out of Tottenham. Can't see it happening. I just can't see it happening. I think people would go mad. I think it would undo everything you're trying to do if you start letting players like that go now. And we want to be building on that, not letting go, right? Yeah, I agree with this. I think Dennis did do well. I just don't think he's ready at that level. I agree with you, Alf. Good player, but not everyone's ready, right? Not everyone's at that level. To be fair, Dyer has been decent at free kicks. Can you name the last time Dyer scored a free kick for Tottenham? I'll leave that with you, P-Dubs, because I've not seen. I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember one. Let's have a look. So Bumper K, no, they're just having their own little conversation. Inter is his childhood club. Yeah, I think we've got to take that into account. It's really, really difficult to go and get top players, right? And that's that. There's a lot of things to that. Look, first of all, we haven't won anything for 14 years. So any player coming to us, they're not joining proven winners. Second of all, are they looking and thinking, right, well, what else are we going to add to the squad? Third of all, they're happy. Fourth, they're probably already at a good club. It's not easy. But since they need money, he may leave and essentially help. I guess that's the one shining light for Tottenham, right? Do they need the money? And will it be a sale for him? Will it be Martinez? Will it be Barella? We don't know. We'll know in a few months. And any manager calling up Maguire to the England squad should already be a red flag. I'll be honest with you, Alan. For me, the red flag isn't even Maguire going in because we already knew he was going to do that. For me, Southgate never picks players in form. Southgate he goes to his tried and tested. He'll try all these young players during friendlies and World Cup qualifiers and European qualifiers against the likes of Armenia and San Marino and those types of countries. But then it will always revert back to that 11. Now, the problem is with the 11 that he likes, it's good, but it's not got him over the line. So for me, we need to see Foden more. Like Foden hardly played in the Euros. You need that trickery. You need that difference. Tunisia, yes, Dave. Yes, sorry, I thought Slovenia. Tunisia, because didn't we draw 1-1 with them or win 1-0? I think we scored in the last minute in the first group game. Is that right? I'm getting old, can't remember. Zaniolo transfer listed by Roma. Would you take him? Do you know what? I think you've summed it up perfectly there. Zaniolo as a footballer, absolutely, really talented. Injuries, big concern. But as a footballer, absolutely would take him all day, every day. Terry Wright said, totally agree, Savva Maddison would be brilliant. I don't see any downside to signing a player like James Maddison. Can you all hear me all right? Is my microphone working? Put it quite away from me today. Peter Simon said, Gil, we got done with that deal. Lamella plus how much? Well, I think the thing for me, Peter, was last summer, I think it was a dreadful summer other than Romero. And at the time, I remember thinking to myself, what was he bought in mind for? You know, I understand if you buy a player like that, great, but for what? if it's for the future, don't go and spend 40 odd million on the player. Yeah. 40 million is what we should be spending on players that are ready now. So I didn't quite understand the signing at the time, if I'm honest. I always say this, when I watch him, technically he's brilliant. There's nothing wrong. His control, his touch, lovely. It's just about another one as to why. What does he do? Where's the output? I just don't know. We'll see. Maybe another loan next year. We'll see what happens with him. Carl too. Evening Savva. I'm new subbed yesterday from Henry's channel. Thank you very much, Liam. I really appreciate that. All the subs do help, and it does make it worthwhile for us people who take a lot of time out of our days to do this. So thank you very much. Alpha said, I am a Man United fan. Shocked you remember. All up there, mate. I'm not into all this Ten Hag hype. To be honest, I've heard it all before. I'll judge him on what he does. However, I won't blindly look him like our fans did with Ollie. Yeah, I think it's difficult, right? This guy's got a huge job, Alf. I'm sure you agree. I'm not belittling your club, but for the last 30 years, this is the worst I can remember Man United being. And it's a huge job because I don't just think he needs to buy new players. I think he needs to change the structure, the ethos, the culture, the scouts, the backroom staff. I think there's a lot of work to be done. And I wonder, I'll ask you as a Man U fan, Alf, are Man United fans going to be patient for that to happen? Or because of your lack of recent success, are you going to demand that he changes everything overnight? That for me is going to be a real kind of, rock and a hard place situation. Aaron has said, I just finished watching the new Sex Pistols TV show. Savva, you'd look great if you shaved your head and got a Johnny Rotten haircut. Stel could be the bassist. Stelvy. I don't know how to take that, Aaron. I can honestly tell you, if I shaved my head, I do believe my fiance might walk out and leave me. And I look awful with a shaved head. I did it once, never again. Same way, you will never see me clean shaven ever again either. So interesting. Dyer's just the best of a bad bunch of free kicks. I don't think he's the best of anything. I mean, I can't remember. I think we're all hanging on to this free kick he scored for England, right? Which was in 2018, 17. When did Eric Dyer score that free kick? 2018. Yeah, I think. Someone tell me, but he's living off that. Alf might have said, if I was a Spurs fan, I'll break the bank for Cucurella. Unreal player. Yeah, I like Cucurella. Again, lots of reports saying he's going to Man City. Makes sense. They need someone on that left-hand side. If that was the case, I would take Zinchenko. But yeah, Cucurella, very good player who won't be at Brighton for long. Yeah, Aaron, I agree. That's what I said. I can't remember him walking up for Spurs and sticking one in the top corner. I can't remember it. Do you think Conte could be at Spurs for a few seasons, especially if we pick up a couple of trophies on the way and board continues with backing? Now, this is an interesting one. I was going to bring this up, actually. Sorry, I've just lost your comment. Right, I was going to bring this up. So last night when I was laying in bed, I was watching a YouTube clip, and it was of, I think, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher do this show called The Overlap, where they get fans on from different clubs and then they debate. Now, in this one was Robbie from Tottenham. Jesus, sorry guys, Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, and a guy called Bardi, and then in the audience was Ty, who is a gobshite. Jesus Christ, he wouldn't let anyone else talk. Anyway, Gary Neville said something that was spot on the money. We won't want to hear it, but it was spot on the money. He said, look, from all the people he's spoken to, and the people he knows, and from what he's seen, Conte goes to a club for 2 years. He drills them militantly to the point where they all burn out, and then he moves on. But he'll kick up a fuss in the media and then move on, making it look like the club's full. Now, do I believe that? I don't know. But when you certainly look at his history, it's not far off the truth. So I don't know whether or not it'll be a 2-year thing, a 3-year thing, but if he does drive them into the ground this much, is there that longevity? I don't know. Will they back him? So many questions. First of all, let's just hope he gets a trophy over the line. an FA Cup, a League Cup, just something for us to celebrate. That's it. Yeah, was that? Oh God, I can't believe it. He put it up there as well. Yeah, we won 2-1, didn't we? In the last minute. Yeah. Is James Ward-Prowse worth the price tag? Reports claims around 56 million. For another 5 or 10 million, we can go and get Milinkovic-Savic. Look, James Ward-Prowse is going to cost a lot of money because he signed a brand new deal and he's English. That's what it is. I, of course, would agree with you. I would, for another 5 or 10 million, go and get Milinkovic-Savic, who is a wonderful footballer. I would go and get him. Yeah. So, okay, you hear me? Good. Okay, just checking. Alan has said, Savva, our fans are so desperate for transfer news, but don't realise that window's not even open yet. We have 3 months ahead of us. People calm down. Listen, Alan, people don't want to hear that. You're speaking sense. People don't want that narrative. That's why every show I go on, what do I say? I say, relax. Like, relax. We don't know what's happening. Just give it a chance. And I get told, oh, you're negative. You don't want good players. It's like, of course I do. But I've also supported Spurs long enough to know, like I'm sure many of you have, that things never go to plan, right? Let's wait and see what happens at the end of the window. But lots of people, like when they're talking about a title charge, they haven't even seen who we've brought in. It's just ludicrous for me. Alejandro, how on God's green earth is Cody starting ahead of Tomori? Again, look, Cody's not a bad centre-half and he plays in a free week in, week out with one of the best defences in the league. So I think that's a bit harsh. But look, yeah, I do. I'll be honest. I think that's a bit harsh. I think Cody's a good centre half. He's been solid for years now. I think that's harsh. Need to know, Savva, do you want to keep Brian Hill next season? I'm indifferent about it. For me, I think he needs to go out on loan, maybe to a lower half Premier League club, get some experience, bulk out a little bit, and then we'll take it from there. But I can't see where he fits in at the moment. But Conte will make that decision, right? Whether he wants him in the squad or loaned out. LFC want to pay. They won't pay 100 million for Son's wages. Not happening. Sacco Martelli seem like the LFC targets young and potential. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think that they will probably go and raid Arsenal at some point, maybe for a Sacco or Martinelli rather than Son. But we'll see. I can't see him going there at all. I really, really can't. Chris George has said, Savva, you're watching the England game, so start. I've got it on the background, just sort of flicking at it, but I'm not, I don't get over enamored with watching England play. I find it quite slow and pedestrian, if I'm honest. And I always find that Southgate's tactics bore me to tears, but hey ho. Dyer scored for us in 2018. Was that from a free kick? Is that what we're talking about? Thank you. I don't plan on shaving my head, but thank you for the advice. The World Cup. Or was it Euro 2016? Was it that long ago? Wow. Yeah, a long time ago. And since then, he's been living off that. Bastoni will join Spurs. Bastoni has just been respectful to the hostile Milan fans. Look, Roachy Baby. Great name, by the way. Look, we don't know that. You don't know that. I don't know that. No one knows. Let's wait and see. I just don't think anyone knows. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we did. We had 5 or 6, didn't we? All in the England team. Those days are gone. Alf Martin has said, my club is shocking at the moment. However, our team is not as bad as many people think. Make out. I think we get top 4 next year, as I'm predicting Spurs and Arsenal will sack your managers. I don't just want top 4, though. Whoa. I mean, yeah. Right. So Conte and Arteta to be sacked. I know you don't just want top 4, but you've got to build, mate. You're not good. You've got to build, and Ten Hag's got a massive job there. A massive job. You've just lost a lot of players on a free. You've got a lot of overrated players. I think you need to give this man time. I think if he gets you top 4 next year, I think you should be praising him rather than saying you want more immediately. Alan has said we should be going in for Lamptey, Cucurella, Basuma. Those 3 would really elevate us considering they're proven quality players. I'd take all 3. I can't believe for 1 second Brighton would sell all 3 of their best players to us. But definitely, look, Brighton have Brighton have scouted wonderfully. If we break this down, Brighton have done wonderful with their scouting. They keep getting these little gems. People like Trossard, people like McAllister, people like Lamptey, Basuma, Cucurella. They just do really well. Yeah, he was. I think what was annoying was people were trying to have a debate with him, and all he could say was, "Well, did you win a trophy?" And it was like, "Well, no, but that's not what we're discussing." So it was just a little bit too, "Oh, shut up, mate," and that's a grown man. I still hate how our fans turn on Jose over Pogba, who's the most overhyped players I've ever seen. Yeah, I think Jose was right with a lot of players that he didn't want. If I look at Ali and Ndombele, if I look at Pogba, Shaw, he's not often wrong. Hence why he's one of the most decorated managers of all time. He's a winner. Yes, I did. He's very frustrating to watch. Very frustrating. If we win the league, who cares? I don't know what that was in response to. I don't know. Alpha said, would you rather win the League Cup or get to another Champions League final? I know I would take the cup all day. Yeah. I hate answering questions like this because I do think it's really, really important that Spurs win a trophy. 14 years. If we don't win one next year, win out of 15, and then you start to become a bit of a joke if we're not already, because Spurs have never gone this many years without winning a trophy. And it's why I don't like Enoch and Levy. They've taken us to a club that used to win things to a club that don't, ever. So, not for me. Savva, Spurs were so good in 16-17 that when you beat us at the Lane, I officially became Wenger out. You never kicked on. No, we didn't. We didn't kick on. The reason being, again, whether it be the fans, Poch, the board, whatever, everyone just stopped. Everyone said, we've got this great 11. We don't need to do anything anymore. And some of us fans were saying, no, we've got to kick on. Add from a position of strength. Strengthen from a position of strength. And we didn't. We're paying for that. Ty is an idiot who's living in the past. I'm pretty sure the bloke said Arsenal are a big club than Liverpool. Yeah, I think, look, this guy's so in it, right? And look, you guys will all know. And for any of you who saw my intro, for anyone who saw my intro, you'll see, what's it say at the end? Debates, special guests, and no bias. I don't do bias. So when fans are biased, I automatically lose that will for them, if that makes sense, because biased fans aren't rational fans. Biased fans want to believe what they're saying because Spurs, or Arsenal, Man U. It's an ability, isn't it, to take your hat off and go, actually, if I break this down as a football fan, and I think hopefully that's why a lot of you like tuning into me, because I'm honest and I don't blow smoke. Hi, Savva. Do you think Bastoni deal will go through? Mate, I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those that drags on and on and on. Look, there's other centre halves. If it doesn't go through, there's other centre halves. And I think sometimes we forget that. So I just don't know, mate. Where are we? Alfred, I rate Cody. He's a great leader, good passer, and most importantly, a good defender. Yeah, I rate Cody. I'm not sure why he gets such a hard time. I don't ever see the man making a mistake. He's part of a very good back three for Wolves. He's never let England down. He is definitely a leader. All the players that play with him say he never stops talking throughout the game. I don't see what's not to like. I'd take him at Spurs. I don't see what's wrong with him. Relax, everyone. Leave it to sort it out in the last out of the window as usual. Don't even go there, Ken. Thoughts on Mourinho to PSG? Not sure it's the right fit, but would be box office. Campos is the new SD. Apparently, him and Moo are mates. Look, it's another one, isn't it? If it comes off, would you be shocked? No. However, look, he's just won a European trophy with Roma. They've got new owners as of last year. They're going to be back again. I predict them to go much better next year. They're now in the Europa League. I think they'll go. I think they'll challenge to win that. I think they'll close the gap on the leaders. So I'm not sure why he needs to, but I don't know. Money talks, right? Money talks to all of us. KDB was absolutely spot on with the Nation League's nonsense. Just a bunch of glorified friendlies. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really care about them. Why do the players go through this grueling season and then make them play like 4 Nation League games in a week or 2 weeks? It's too much. Ken said, I just tuned in to watch Kane. Yeah, I won't read that out for obvious reasons. If we don't get in the players before pre-season that Conte desires, he will be off. Let's hope Daniel Levy does not lose Conte or we'll be doomed. Lot to be said for that. We are perennial late buyers in the window, and it doesn't do us any good. When we set foot on that plane to go to South Korea for pre-season tour, you want to have 4 or 5 new faces on that plane that can go and play, get to know their teammates, not just on the pitch, bond with them, the banter, get to know everything about them. And we haven't done that really. Chris, I'm English too, and I agree. Watching us play pedestrian football is criminal with the talent we have in the squad. I agree. Honestly, I know everyone got really excited about the Euros, but England bored me to death. I'm looking at players like Foden, Bellingham, Grealish not getting a game because boring old Southgate wants to do the same thing over and over again. He's not for me. I believe if this England squad had a Klopp, a Conte, a Mourinho, a Pep, I think they'd win it. But without that, I don't think we will. There is a very weird narrative that 4th is a trophy. Let's get it straight. If we finish 4th or 3rd next season and go trophyless, that is a failure season. No one can tell me otherwise. Yes and no. I'm a huge advocate of the first part of what you said. Yeah, 4th is not a trophy, and everyone was celebrating it like mad. I've said many times before, Alan, 4th for me is a platform. It lets you go there. Once we get to there, from there, now can we buy better players at this level? Now we bought better players, can we kick on to there? So it's, baby steps. You've got to remember we're up against Chelsea who'll have loads of money. Man City and Liverpool who are brilliant. It's not just a case of, we failed if we get 3rd. I think that would be a bloody good showing. I think Spurs and Arsenal will sack and/or manager will leave during the season. Ole got 2nd. I'm not on this hyping up managers or players too soon. They have to earn it. I can't see why Conte would be sacked, but Daniel Levy has done some strange things. So we will see in due course. Arteta for me, look, he's just signed a new contract, but Arsenal fans, again, they're 50-50 with him. Some love him, some hate him. So we'll see. Let's have a look. Terry, thoughts on Spence? I think Spence is okay. Another one where everyone wants to just get far too hyped up. He's good. He looks technically comfortable on the ball. Looks like a good athlete. But I've seen him play some good games, some bad games. He's not really ripped it apart in the Championship. I would have liked to have seen a lot more goals and assists from right wing back to be a Conte wing back. But if Conte brings him in, then we go with it, right? Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of egos at PSG, and Mourinho wants to handle that, right? Mourinho is more decorated than all of them, probably, other than Messi. And that even, I wonder who's won the most trophies, Messi or Mourinho. But it needs a strong manager to manage that PSG team, because forget the league. That's a foregone conclusion every year. But it's the Champions League they want, and I think it's really difficult for them to win that when they're playing poor teams week in, week out, and then have to raise their game. Simply A said, I would take 6th for League Cup and FA Cup next season. We need a trophy. Yeah, I think it's important for the club to... I don't ever see why it's either or. For me, next year, you've got to be looking at trying to win a cup and finishing 4th or 3rd. If you don't win a cup and you don't finish 4th or 3rd, then it's a complete failure. But if you do finish 4th and win a cup, it's a great season. Hello, D-Trex. How are you? Are you well? I'm going to go, guys, just for another 11 minutes, just so you know. Let me rattle through some questions. Do you think Tottenham's transfer policy and investment policy has changed direction this season? Look, the first signing, the only signing suggests that, with 33-year-old Perisic coming in on a free. But I can't answer the rest because we haven't signed anyone. We haven't invested any money yet. I said at the beginning of the show, I think we will spend 140 million, and I think we'll recoup 100 110, 120. So I think all in all, I think we'll kind of balance ourselves out, which is why I think the whole, ENIC are investing loads of money narrative was a bit false. But I could be completely wrong. We will find out in August. Hello to you as well, Daniel Primus. Cody doesn't have a sexy name or a flash haircut, so he's unfortunately, that happens, right? Cody, for me, is Mr. Dependable. If he played for Spurs week in, week out in that back three with Romero, I think Spurs fans would love him. I think we'd love him. His determination, his talking, his leadership, always gives 100%. I like him. Hello, Wayne. No, it's all right, maybe it's all right. I wasn't going to, but then I thought I would. I'm just trying to have a low-key one this weekend, away from the drink and all the bad food. So just thought I'd jump on. Hello, I hope you are well as well. Alpha said, if Conte leaves during the season, who do you want next? Because in my opinion, this is it for Spurs. You need to win something now. That's the problem. If we lose Conte, we've gone through Conte, Pochettino, Mourinho, Nuno, Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp, AVB, and none of them would have worked. What do you do? That's the problem. What do you then do? ENIC doubled down instead of investing in 17-18. In 17-18, due to the stadium, but came out of the narrative that we couldn't bring in players to improve us. I was part of the monetary question ambition. Phil, bang on. Absolutely bang on. At that time, they had to invest. I'm not talking huge, but they had to add a couple of good players every season, and they didn't. Instead, we went 2 windows and 500 days without adding anyone. Ridiculous. Bellingham's special. Bellingham. See, this is why when Spurs fans talk to me about Skip being generational, I look down there at Bellingham and go, different gravy. What's your opinion not being picked for England? I'm astounded. Who, sorry? Who not being picked for England? Oh, you're talking about Maddison. Just let me know, Wayne, in the comments. Are you talking about Maddison? And then I'll give you an answer. Nitin has said, being an Asian, we highly rate Kim Min-jae, and he'll be a good upgrade on Dyer. He's nicknamed the Asian VVD. I can't comment. I was watching last night on Will's channel when they were talking a lot about Kim Min-jae, if that's the right way to say it. I've not seen him really. I've seen 1 or 2 bits, but I've not watched him in a full game to know. Be interesting to see. It's really difficult to give an opinion on a player I don't really know. But look, lots of people seem to rate him. Right, Wayne, I think it's a travesty. This is why I don't rate Southgate. He does things like this. Maddison's just had a wonderful season. Bundles of goals, bundles of assists. He's in great form and then can't get in the England squad. But yet all his old favourites get in there, like Maguire. It's just silly. It's just silly. Potter would be a good option for England manager. Yes. We'd play better football. We'd have an identity. As someone just said, maybe someone like a Potter would be a good shout. I'm so proud of my son, Harry Kane. He did what I told him to do. Okay. If we'd won the Euros, I could never slander and hate Kane again. Don't hate him. You just wish you had him at Arsenal. Come on, you don't hate him. Right, I'm gonna rattle through some. I'm going for 5 more minutes. Alan has said I wouldn't take 3rd and another trophy this season. It would be about 15 years by then, but we'd be turning into a joke. Yeah, but I think if by that point we're finishing 3rd and then adding better players, then there's progression, and I'd be happy with that. Let's see. James Brown, big yourself up as well. What a great name you have. Savva, if we can only sign 3 players, who would they be? In a dream world, Bastoni, Maddison, and Kostic or Marley. But I'd follow that up. I'd like Cucurella, Basuma, Neves, Bremer, just loads of players out there. I think that the difficulty is Spurs fans will, of course, overrate this guy because he plays for Spurs. And as you know, Alf, by watching my shows, I don't really conform. I don't mind Skip. He's okay. He's a decent footballer, but nothing about him makes me think he's great. and everyone waxes lyrical about him. I think he's poor on the ball. I think lots of times when he's got the ball, he runs into people. Look, we'll see. But again, we'll know more in the next couple of years. But everyone wants to put these players on a pedestal before they've achieved anything. Right, guys, I am going to wrap up. I would just like to say thank you very much. So just so you know, for anyone that didn't see, please rewatch this afterwards, just the first minute, and you will see my new intro. And let me know if you like it, if you think there should be any changes made to it. Also, Henry and I will be giving away a Spurs shirt on the show on Sunday, the Spurs Corner. Sorry, my dog has just walked in with a mop in his mouth, which is very funny. Let me start that again. Henry and I will be giving away a Spurs shirt with the player name of your choice on the back on Sunday night when Henry, Will, Stella and I do the Spurs Corner. It will be 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. UK time. It all depends on Will being awkward and living out there in America. And then next Thursday, I am going to be live with Michael Bridge from Sky Sports News, and we will be giving away 2 tickets to Tottenham Hotspur's first home game of the season. We'll be giving away 2 tickets. So tune into those shows. Please spread the love. Thank you so much. I've seen so many of the same old faces, and go and enjoy your Saturdays. If you're going to get drunk, get drunk. If you're going to stay in, stay in. Be careful, whatever you do. Take care.